Hello and welcome back to the final round of the WTC 2017 here in Blankenberge, Belgium. I'm Josh, your host, along with my co-hosts
Rickard
and Frank.
The stream, of course, brought to you by Enter the Crucible, Page 5DE, and Muse on Minis. So, final round. Here we go. Team that wins is going to win it all. Germany has been a bridesmaid kind of every year, I feel like.
And just as I predicted, we have the Germans on the stream for the third time in a row.
You did predict it. That is accurate. Opposite them, we have Norway Munin for the first time this week on the stream. And it's a pretty good place to be showing up your first time on the stream, I think.
Yep.
It is.
A little bit of trivia. Munin is apparently the two Norwegian teams named after the two ravens of Odin. So Munin is one, and Hunin?
Hugin and Munin.
Okay, there you go. So I think they have the coolest names of any teams at the WTC.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Drop Bear and Bin Chicken kind of gave him...
Yeah, sure. All right, so we're going to take a run through the tables and the lists. We've got the matchups for you guys. So we will go ahead and start here at Table 1. On Table 1, we have Tor from Norway. He's playing Nemo 3, and he's playing it into Assyria from
Benjamin.
So we haven't seen Benjamin's Assyria list yet.
Yes, we have.
Did he play that in the first round? Okay. In round
four
this
morning he played it into...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Into the double tap access list.
Yes, that's right. So this is the one that I was talking about. I actually quite like this Assyria list with the Infiltrators and the Spears of Syra. I think it's a nice, well-rounded as opposed to entirely focused on Strike Force.
I mean,
while he still has the Strike Force.
Yeah, Nemo 3 doesn't have any way of ignoring stealth. So unless... Yeah, he finds a leap target.
Right.
So if he stays far enough away from the leaps, he should be good. Benny, that is.
So this is a version of the list with two Stormcallers. We haven't seen that yet in the other Nemo 3 lists. I think most of them have been missing.
There is a, sorry to interrupt you, but there is a Polish list running around. Actually, it's the owner of the Polish stream who is playing for Poland Warriors, I believe. And he has 3 Fireflies, 3 Storms and Stormcallers, double Strider, and stuff like that in the list. It's quite potent.
The Stormcallers are pretty exceptional. Maybe we'll see that work out today. Can put out quite a bit of damage in these Nemo 3 Storm Division lists. I will also note there are 2 minimum units of Storm Lances in this Nemo 3 list, so finding a leap target, not too hard.
Yeah, probably.
We will have to see how he plays it out, yeah. So that is our matchup on Table 1. I don't know if we want a New York Times call it here.
Of course we should.
Yeah,
of course we should.
I'm just checking out if Blinding Light works on the battle engines.
It does.
Since Benjamin is also a pretty good Signar player, last WTC he played Signar, and the last 2 WTCs he played Signar, I believe. He has quite the extensive knowledge of Signar as well, and he's played this matchup quite a few times, I believe. So on the strength of that, I'm calling it for Benjamin.
Okay.
I mean, I can see Blinding Light doing a lot of work in this matchup, like shutting down the Striders or maybe the Lances, at least the shooting part. So I'm also going to put this in favor of Ben.
I think the matchup is tilted towards Ben because solely on the back of the strength of Blinding Light, as well as I feel like this build of Assyria has enough infantry that it can survive through some electro leaping, particularly coupled with Blinding Light shutting down some of the offensive output. So I do think this tilts towards the Assyria, and I will agree that I believe that this game will be Benjamin's to lose.
Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead and switch over to table 3. We have Robin on the German side with his Haley 3 list that we've seen him play, I think, both the last two
Twice.
rounds. Yeah. Yeah, so this is... that doesn't look like table 2. Sorry, did I say table 3? I meant table 2. My
Yeah.
apologies. So table 2, beach table.
And now we're on table 3.
Yes, so this is table 2.
No, now it's Robin.
Right, this is the correct one. Table 2, Robin
Yeah.
with Haley 3.
Sorry.
And yeah, you're fine. And Christian is playing Amon. This
With
Amon list
It's
is
insane.
is pretty. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, I'm still going. 12 dervishes, and then a vigilant.
Wow.
Unlike Jean de Marie, he opts to bring 2 units of choir.
Okay.
So we'll see if that plays off.
Yeah,
or
we'll
pays off
see.
for him.
I think I played in the spring. I played against a Durst list with as much dervishes.
Oh yes.
They were really hard to
Yeah.
remove because
Yeah.
they're 15 because of
Yeah.
bulwark.
And we'll see. So this is in Creator's Might. It's actually interesting seeing a decent little bit. There's 2 Menoth players on the Norwegian team. We saw a Menoth player last round. I know a lot of people have been down on Menoth because they don't feel that the themes have been good enough for them to kind of keep pace in the meta, and many of them are waiting on the spoiled Faithful Masses theme, the Idrian theme, to come out. And in that theme, Amon's dervishes go truly nuts. They gain benefits from models dying, hit harder. I think the chain ends up with them at POW 20 with sidestep and so on and so forth. That's not this list. This list is Creator's Might. So we'll have to see. Like I said, it's a relatively good sign for Menoth that when they showed up in the semifinal. On our stream, they showed up in the semifinals and they showed up in the finals. So 2 Menoth players, and we've got a boatload of dervishes headed into Haley 3 and her Cloud Wall. How do you guys feel about this?
I would say Haley 3, as much as she's able to grind the long game, she'll have a hard time chewing through 12 dervishes.
I agree with that statement completely.
And I would have to agree with that as well.
Yeah. I think
But we saw Robin pull out a really close one just last round. So Robin's experience in games like these, for me at least, tilts it ever so slightly in his favor.
Oh, okay. All right. I am going to say that the toughest part of the battle will be fighting through the defensive bonuses that Haley 3 brings, as well as the mild recursion factor that she brings to the table. The Storm Blades behind obviously can threaten some of the dervishes, but I think this is too much for her to deal with, and I think that this is in favor of the Norwegians, Christian and the Menoth player.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with that as well. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, Haley can grind the defense. The defense can be a problem. The Cloud can bring down the alpha from the dervishes, but it's still a lot of jacks that can push really far forward, really, really fast.
Right.
So
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and switch to table 3. So far, then we're calling it New York Times style 1-to-1. And on table 3, so take a good look at this table right now, because we will be coming to this table almost not at all during this cast. I think some of you who may have been with us the whole time recognize when you're playing a mirror match, Ghost Fleet into Ghost Fleet, even if the casters are different, in a stream sort of situation trying to pick out models, extremely difficult to figure out what's going on because all the models are relatively the same. Even when you're standing next to the table, sometimes it's difficult. Now, there are some substantially different paint schemes here. We can certainly tell whose Wraith Engine is whose. The Blackbanes themselves there, getting fluorescent orange on the Norwegian side. So hopefully we'll check in. We'll do our best. But this table is going to be difficult to watch, and I suspect we probably won't focus too much on this. Just to cover it, we actually did watch this, essentially this exact matchup in round 4. It's Denny Ghostfleet versus
Coven
Ghostfleet. We heard Sasha talk a little bit about why he picked Coven Ghostfleet coming into it. The idea behind Coven is really to take away some of the typical ways that people try to deal with the Ghost Fleet problem in general, but that's not really what the Denegra side is doing. At its core, I don't know. Obviously, we all know Sasha. The Norwegian player is Jonas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jonas Brand.
Do we have any insight on Jonas as a player?
I know that he used to play Circle a lot previously, and I think he switched to Crix just
And
like in the last year or something.
Okay.
He
contrary
also used to be in a band called the Jonas Brothers.
No.
I'm going to go back to my corner now.
okay. Also, the contrary to the last Denny 1 player in the last round, he does have a Wraith engine in the list.
He does, which is a good point.
Yeah.
I still feel like the Denegra caster in this matchup gives the Norwegian player the advantage. Sasha, obviously a highly skilled player, well known, been in the conversation for the last couple of years as one of the best players in the world. He also recognizes he made some mistakes in the last round,
Yeah.
as we heard on the cast. I'm going to say that this will be the match where he kind of brings it back together, and even though he's at a slight disadvantage, uses his superior play skill to pull out the match. Or are perceived, because I don't know Jonas.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you as well. I mean,
Yeah,
just basically straight up saying it.
Me too. One thing, Sasha is a really good player. Another thing is he just played that matchup.
He did. He
And
did play that matchup.
This
not
exact
last round, but
matchup,
yeah.
and so whatever mistakes he made, he'll probably won't make again.
I would think that's true.
And yeah, so I called it for Sasha.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and check out table 4. So we are predicting Germany up 2-1 currently. On table 4, we have Bernard playing his Una 2 list once again. So we've seen him play that in the previous 2 rounds.
Yep.
Opposite him, we have is it Svier?
Sverre.
Svara.
Sverre.
It's good to have a Scandinavian
Yep.
on the cast. All right, so Sverre has an interesting list. So this is a very interesting makeup for the Norwegian team. They have 2 Crix players, a Signar player, and 2 Menoth players. And essentially, the Crix players basically said, all right, what are the true power tier lists in Crix? Okay, it's Denegra 1, Ghost Fleet, I get that one, and it's Coven Dark Host, you get that
Yeah.
one. And then they each picked up, a different caster in Dark Host or Ghost Fleet to pair with it.
And I mean, I think Asphyxious one is a fine choice as a Ghost Fleet.
This is a Dark Host.
Yeah, it is
so
a Dark Fleet, yeah.
So
But I mean, you
this-
could have that as well.
It could have been,
Yeah.
Ghost Fleet. So
Yeah, I think one of the players, Moritz Riegler, on the third German team, plays Asphyxious 1 in Dark Roast as well.
I know coming into the event, Keith had wished that he had changed his Ghost Fleet list to Asphyxious 1 because he felt it would give him a tremendous advantage in the mirror. This is not the mirror. This is Una 2. And we have it on authority from Tim Banky that Una 2 is strong into
Crix.
Crix, Signar, and Grimkin. So we'll have to see if that works out. Thinking about the matchup, does Una 2 have RFP? And oh yes, the which doesn't actually matter. This is Dark Host. My apologies. The RFP is irrelevant. So
We'll see how that matchup goes.
yeah, without without access to the Coven's feet to protect The list from being charged. Yes, Lich has a feat that can be used offensively. Probably get rid of several blood right, the Tharn.
The Thorns.
Yeah,
Blood trackers
are
and the blood
pretty weak.
weavers probably.
yeah, blood weavers are pretty susceptible to this.
Yeah.
But the core of the Griffins, not so much. We'll have to see if the infantry can do any work before they get removed. Then I think the favor is in Una 2, but only slightly. I think this is probably a pretty close match.
I'm wondering how Bernard is going to handle the Wraith engine. What does he have for medical attacks?
Well, all the Tharn or the
All the Thorn, okay.
I'm not sure about the blood trackers, but the 3 units of blood weavers are
Yeah.
all magical attacks, though they don't hit at a high power.
No, they're not high powered.
And
The threat is pretty static. So
And then the pure blood spray. I don't think his punches are, but his spray is magical.
okay. So there are some options, but getting it delivered properly is not going to be trivial.
Right. I think Una's gun is probably also magical.
Yeah.
I'm not positive on that, but I think it is. So we'll have to see. The Wraith engine may be a problem, but of course, if he decides to do any work with the Wraith engine, as we've seen, it usually dies immediately. The turn
Yeah,
after.
but I don't think he needs to write because there's not like a whole lot of armor.
Right.
So
Well, you don't even need to use the Wraith engine to help counter armor
No.
because you just apply Dark Shroud.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. So, okay. I think this one's pretty even. I'm going to give it slightly to Germany and the Una player, just almost entirely on the strength of Tim Benke assuring me that this is a good list into the meta. The Lich one is obviously slightly different than the standard meta, but I'm gonna New York Times it for Germany here.
I'm going to do the opposite actually, and I think I'm gonna go with the Lishman player. I think that he has enough tools to sort of blunt the list enough that it's gonna be tricky for Bernard to actually do a lot of work.
Okay.
Okay, then.
You know you're going with the German.
Yeah.
Yes.
In that case, I'm going with the German because.
Yeah. Because German.
That too. But
So
Oh, yeah.
Pure Blood does have Wraithbane, which gives Blessed, but I don't think it makes the attack magical. It does make the attack magical? All right, I'm getting a head shake that it makes the attack magical.
Okay.
In
so
which case we said that wrong last round. So we will double check that in War Room to make sure. But
I'm still sticking to my guns.
yeah, so if
Yeah,
maybe
it
it does
does.
have yes, okay, so it does make magical in addition to giving it blessed. So
Yeah.
we were wrong last round when we said otherwise. That definitely
Okay,
gives
that-
some additional options.
and
so
yeah,
the Wraith
that
engine
tilts it into Bernard's favor for me.
into
for
Bernard's
my-
favor. Yeah, sure. So we'll go ahead and call that, even though it was already in Bernard's favor for you.
That's what did it?
Yeah. So we'll head to table 4. We're going to call that for Germany. That's currently a 3-1 victory for Germany.
Yep.
So we are ahead of time calling it a German victory.
Yep.
But table 5, we have Dominic with Resheth, the same Resheth list we've seen him play the last 2 turns. And
Yep.
it looks like he's already underway, rolling some attack dice. He's playing into Cuba.
What's the name? Let's see.
Kuba.
Cuba?
Cuba. Yep.
Yep, Cuba with
Vindictus.
Vindictus. So this Vindictus list is interesting. It's a Vice Scrutator Vindictus and the Exemplar Interdiction list.
Am I wrong that his name is Cuba Gooding Jr.? That's
Yes.
his full name?
Yes, you were wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. I've actually played against this list. John Damaris at home has been playing essentially this list. He's played it with Vindictus. He absolutely prefers it with Testament of Menoth. Testament of Menoth brings a lot of answers to the Crix matchups. Vindictus is still okay there, but not quite as good. But this isn't a Crix matchup, so that doesn't matter. And what Vindictus is good is at protecting his infantry, making sure that they don't die, and making sure he doesn't die, and getting them across the table. And we can see they're already quite far up. I think the Siege Animantraxes will be a bit of an issue, but there are a lot of weapon masters on Cuba's side of the table, including 3 units of Exemplar Errants, and then 2 units of Knights Exemplar with their officer. I think that this matchup is in favor of Vindictus. I think there's just a lot to shoot off the table. Vindictus makes it hard, and nothing on the Scorn side can come forward to contest without being immediately threatened with death. So I do think that this is in favor of Norway. I think this may be the first loss that we see Dominic. So
Yeah, I think this seems rough for Dominic because the feat shuts down the shooting for like almost one round. I mean, even
Yep.
though he has extollers, it's still like he gets like a couple of shots out.
right.
And I think the penitence
Yeah.
upkeep. Do we know where that is currently?
We don't. I'm sure it's probably on one of the large units of Exemplar Errants. There's 2 max and 1 min unit of Errants. I would imagine it's probably on one of them.
So that
And probably the one that's most directly across from the Venator Reavers.
yeah,
right?
probably. So that would obviously help a lot in a matchup to
Right.
just counter all the work he can do.
Right, exactly.
So I'm gonna call this for Norway.
You already, both of you called it for Norway.
We did, so you
So it
can
doesn't
feel
matter-
comfortable
It
saying
doesn't
Germany.
matter if I call it for Dominic.
Yeah.
I actually don't quite know. I think the Siege Elementarexes have the output to chew through a lot of infantry
They do.
if he gets them in there.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's the one feat turn where he can't do anything.
Right.
There's also the sack pawns or the sacrifices. Oh no, that's Aaron's, not.
I mean, they do
No,
have.
that
They
do
do
have one,
yeah.
2 Knights Exemplar units. Okay, so yeah, I'd say actually a little bit too close to call.
All right, so we think this will end up being a 3-2 victory for Germany based on our preliminary but very insightful examination of the matchups.
Preliminary but accurate, I would say.
Yeah. All right, so let's see if we've got. I think we may be on the table with the most action happening right now. Yeah, it looks like we are. Everyone else still just seems to be positioning out of threat ranges. And like I said, we're going to avoid that Ghost Fleet as much as we can. I'd rather bring us
Some real action.
there will definitely be real action there, but I'd rather bring us some games where it's easier to figure out what's going on the table,
Okay.
get a clear picture. All right, so battle group for this Vindictus list: Dervish, Devout, Sanctifier. I actually don't remember what the Sanctifier does.
I think it can't be targeted with magic by magic. Guess it removes incorporeal still, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. I think it does remove incorporeal.
Let's see.
Take a quick look. Yep, enemy models lose incorporeal with 10 inches, has Ashen Veil, and gains souls.
Can have 5
and
soul
yeah,
tokens.
and turn into focus on
Yeah.
it. Just kind of runs itself a little bit. Yep. Okay. Free Exemplar Errant Seneschal on the list. High Exemplar Gravis to help support the Errants, and then Choir, 2 units of Knights Exemplar. I'll tell you, it wasn't until this Exemplar interdiction came out that I started to play into Knights Exemplar again. They got the
Guys,
yeah.
it looks like he feeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this will be the turn where
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens essentially.
And it makes sense.
Yeah,
He's just
it-
gonna eat a lot of board,
right,
not
yeah.
get stuff shut off.
Yeah, so
And
we're quite far forward in the zones. I assume, is this bottom of 1 or is it top of? We don't really know. I'm guessing it's bottom of 1.
No, it's top of 2 right now. Because Doma already had his turn. And I think the Manoth player started.
Yeah.
Dominic chose this side.
yeah,
And he's lower on clock for this to be bottom of 1.
Okay.
So it's top of 2.
So that's
Yeah.
probably top of 2.
He
So just contesting the zones. Oh, I guess we should talk about the scenario this round. The name of it is
Outlast.
Outlast.
Yeah.
It was outflanked to 1 or 2 steamrollers.
Okay, okay. And this is just the 2 circular scenarios, and then there's are there flags in this one?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
2 flags
Yes.
in the middle of the board.
Yeah. So you can
8
see
inches apart.
you can see the marker. Oh, I don't have my
Just
drawing selected.
Yep.
Let me see if I can telestrate here. No. Yep. Okay. Technical difficulties, guys. Sorry.
From the other right.
Okay. All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Little technical difficulty snafu there. So yes, here and here. Yep. Flags. So, how often have you guys played this scenario much? I know
Yeah.
you probably have not.
No, I mean I
did,
did
yeah,
it.
I did.
Yeah.
So how often do you feel like the flags come into play in this scenario?
Often enough.
Yeah.
The thing is, I mean, you see the Man of Army eating a whole lot of board right now.
Yeah.
He's pushing really aggressively across the table. So that allows maybe not his caster, but definitely allows a solo to go in there and position himself to score.
Right.
And I've done that often enough myself. It gets harder in a list like heavy metal, like I'm playing most often, because you don't have the solos to spare, or you keep them in back like Jackson, the Squire and the Junior. But if you can do it like this, protect your solos and then send a solo forward to score the flag, they get played quite often. But sometimes it's just they get ignored completely.
Sure. And it does look like it's going to be live for Kuba in this game. Like you said, we can see how far up the table he is already.
Already.
This is just kind of a scenario zone taking monster. So the flag for
Sasha.
Dominic.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
The flag for Dominic is not really going to be in play for him, but obviously back here, totally in play for Kuba. So we might actually see Kuba manage to score 1 point on Dominic's turn, depending on what Dominic decides to do. But I think anything he goes to try and rob that point is going to just be sacrificed.
So where is actually Vindictus? Can we see him? I'm wondering if there are any models outside his feet, because the feet token is pretty far up. So I'm wondering if he's positioned there as well.
I suspect where Vindictus is under his hat, but is his feet a pulse or is it an aura?
I'll just look it up.
Yeah, we'll double check. Make sure we're not...
So while in Vindictus controlling, so it's an aura.
Yeah.
Friendly faction warrior models cannot be targeted by charges, slam power attacks, enemy spell, or non-magical ranged attacks.
Yep.
So
where
does he
is-
have a possibility of making the Animanthrax's magic weapons?
I mean, he has Hex Dolars.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, so they can still shoot. They'll be able to shoot.
And then, then he'll probably remove quite a few of these errands from the board.
Yeah,
If-
we'll see. We will see. It's very possible. I'm still trying. I think this is Vindictus right here. So whether these guys are in,
Yeah. Okay.
I suspect they probably are. It's going to be at the.
Yeah. I mean, if it's that far in the center, then sure.
Yeah. Yep. So, okay. Watch this here for just a minute. See how far forward he comes in the center, but he's definitely moving the units of errants up quite far on either side. I'm trying to see if I can find a token around that tells me where Penitence is at, because I have to feel like it's out there, right? Like,
Yeah, it should be.
yeah. The Venator Reavers are positioned fairly centrally across the table, it looks like, right? There are Venator Reavers in this list. I'm not making that up. Slingers. There's Reavers and Slingers in the list. Okay.
So he's doing damage to one of the beasts, probably one of the shamans.
Yep. Looks like he's taken that shaman down quite far just with errant shots,
Yeah. And
which is 7 boxes left.
Yeah,
We heard
7
him just
boxes left.
confirm,
That's
yeah.
for some good dice.
So we may get. I imagine maybe the Dakar contributed on that. Here comes up the.
Exemplar Seneschal.
Or sorry, not Dakar. That's on the other side. My apologies.
And that's a nice Exemplar Seneschal he just put there.
Yeah. It looks like. Yeah.
No, it's the 2 swords.
Okay. It just looks painted the rest of this exemplar unit, but yeah. taking a shot. Yeah. Just trying to get a little bit ahead on attrition.
Yeah. Just taking some pot shots.
All right, maybe we can check in on one of the other tables. Let's flash to 1, I suppose. We'll just start at the top.
Yeah.
This again is the Assyria and Nemo table. All right. So we can see 1. As I said, we got to deal with stealth, but we got 1 Stormlance up here. Shoot into it. Kill some guys with Electro Leap.
And
And then
second Storm Strider is in a weird position up here.
this Storm Strider is in a
Yeah.
weird position, but I can't imagine how they would have killed it already.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's just very conservative play on his part.
That's really conservative.
Yeah.
Because the Major the Strike Force doesn't get a Jack Hunter bonus against the battle engines.
Right.
So
He does have the Phoenix. Is this the Phoenix here? In
yeah.
the,
yeah, that's
the
the
top
Phoenix. That's
zone.
Hemera.
Yeah.
Hemera has the same spikes on her back than Assyria does.
Yeah. This is also Nemo 3 does not have access to Arcane Shield himself, right? So he's
No.
does this Nemo have a journey? Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
does have a
does.
journeyman. So one. Does he have an armor buff that's not Jack only? Can we look it up real quick?
Yeah, I just looked
See.
it up. Nemo Artificer General. He does have Electrify. Target friendly faction model gains +2 arm and repulsor field.
Okay.
Mhm.
So he's capable of covering both Storm Striders with an armor buff.
Yep.
I am a little surprised that Storm Strider is as far back as it is. There's also 1 cavalry model up here, and then there's another model just on the other side that's a medium base of some kind. It might be a Firefly.
No, that's not a Firefly. It's too small for a Firefly.
Maybe it's not a medium base. Maybe it's a small base.
It's a small base, yeah.
I mean, I can imagine
In
that
which
the-
case, it's probably a Stormcaller.
Yeah.
like I can imagine that the ones who play the Storm Striders pretty conservatively because they are gonna do a lot of electro leaping
Right. He
in-
also needs
into the
some,
dudes.
he needs, like, the further back they are, the less likely they're to get blinded light, right?
Yeah,
So they can come forward and shoot.
yeah. So I would expect that he just keeps
So-
electro leaping from the horses or something.
Oh,
He
I think that'll
just
be his
put-
plan for a while.
He
Yeah.
just put Hemera quite a bit far forward.
Yeah. So
Which he
Yep.
did because she has an arc node, so he's probably trying to leap and to arc a blinding light onto the
The lower strider.
lower strider.
yeah, there is a token there. I don't know. We can see it here. I don't know if that's a Signar token or a blinding. And then there's this token here as well. So it's hard.
That's, I believe,
This is probably an armor buff, either the Arcane Shield or because it looks like it's the rest of his red tokens over on the Signar player's side. So I suspect that's the armor buff token for that particular Storm Strider.
and that's a blinding light, and that's probably a blinding light too for the Firefly.
Yeah, it does look like Firefly and the Storm Strider may have been blinding lighted.
Okay.
So the Hemera is quite far forward, however. We
But
have a couple.
2 charging.
Yeah, there's also other ranged attacks to be put into it, right? It's not just that Storm Strider which can shoot. There's a Thunderhead. There's Nemo's gun himself.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It is an aggressive move, but if the game plan is to shut down the Striders with
Yeah.
blinding light, then you might have to play aggressively here.
Yeah, and I mean Ben is probably gonna eat a lot of board this turn as well. So
I imagine, yeah.
I mean, and Nemo can't stand back forever because then it's just gonna straight up lose the scenario.
Right. Yep. Also right. So yeah, I think this is probably just an aggressive play for scenario, allowing his squishy infantry to come forward on a turn when he knows the Storm Strider isn't going to be able to retaliate, and when maybe the focus will be on trying to remove the arc node to cut down on her ability to blinding light in remaining turns.
Yeah, it's hard to see with the tokens that Ben has. It's a bit blends in with the pumpkins, but it's possible that Hammer has ammunition because he has that spell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like like a token down there.
There is so there's a token here and there's a token here. She has inviolable resolve as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one of them is inviolable resolve. One of them is probably admonition, would be my guess. Which is which, I don't know, but it does make way more sense for admonition to be on the front forward arc node.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Phoenix has an arc node as well, so they just switched to.
Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point.
Okay. We have we can't see the white dice, so I take it he switched to round 3.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I'd say it's round 3. Just basing it off the times on the
yeah.
clock.
Yeah,
Um,
probably. They probably have played 13 minutes, 19
No.
minutes.
Or even round 2.
If
Just
it's so, it depends. If it's if he just switched it over to round 2, he scored
'Cause-
nothing. But if
because he started the game.
okay,
He went first, so he moved up like this, and then probably that was the retaliation. So yeah,
I suspect it's the start of round 2 because otherwise he scores a point here, right? And I don't think they've touched their.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is probably the start of round 2. Yep, start of round 2. We have confirmation. Makes sense. So we'll see what he's able to do here with the blinding lighted. He's obviously measuring out his ranges to the Chimera to see what he can do.
I don't think he can get a jack into it. No, he doesn't. The Strider and the Firefly are blinding lighted. The 2 horses down here alone won't do enough damage to kill Chimera.
Especially with admonition.
Right.
Yeah, especially with admonition. So
Yeah.
they have to get into melee, and so they don't.
Yeah.
And just shooting it down, I kind of doubt it.
So what's the power of the shots now? They are power. Is it still power 12?
Power 12 shots, and with the Firefly, it's power 14.
14,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the Thunderhead has 3 power 14 shots, which he has to buy. But if he hits the first, the other ones are auto hitting.
Yeah.
But he won't be able. He will only be able to boost one of the damage rolls. The shots from the horses are unboosted.
Yeah.
So unless he feeds for just that check, I don't see how he can remove Chimera there.
But wouldn't it actually be worth feating for that jack? Because I mean, his feat doesn't really matter on anything else beside the jacks. Like the rest of the infantry is gonna die by electroleaps.
Yeah, I think
That's a good point.
I think we may see a feat here. The rest of the infantry, I mean, the Thunderhead alone, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it does have to be careful, it's certainly susceptible to the Jack Hunter ability of all the mage hunters.
I'm not sure if he has like. I guess just disrupting Darkness would also be just one way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
I guess the Stormcaller still have that ability, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Actually, I don't know for sure.
No, let's check.
Yeah.
They have crit disruption
Is it crit
Oh, crit
disruption?
disruption,
now?
yeah.
on the shot,
Okay.
and I think Nemo has auto disruption on his shot.
He very well
We'll
may.
just have a
Yeah.
look. I should know these things by heart. I'm playing Signar.
That's why we bring you here for the Signar commentary.
Not for my winning personality,
Well, yes, also. Quite.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, crit
So he has
disruption for the
disruption.
Stormcaller.
but he only has disruption on his melee weapon, so nope,
Not on
he's
the
not
gun.
gonna
Okay.
disrupt him.
Okay.
Fishing for crits with 2 dice, not super fun.
Not super good. I agree.
No, he doesn't have a way to. What about his the other? She has knockdown, not knockdown. Disruption on her tuning fork, and no.
Yeah.
But also, it's just the melee weapons, so no,
Yeah.
that thing's not gonna get disrupted.
Yeah.
So we can see Tor debating here. I think he may very well be debating about, feet. That's
Yeah,
gotta be
there's a feet token. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he declares feet, and we'll see if he can remove the arc node
Yep.
before we go check out one of the other games. Trying to tell what he's moving there. Like maybe a Stormsmith. Or maybe that's Nemo. If
Yeah.
he's feeded, yeah, because I'm assuming Nemo's going to shoot his gun. So
Yeah.
he's probably trying to measure maximum shot range here from Nemo
Yep.
to, yeah. So here comes dice rolls. Oh, yeah.
So that was the hit roll.
Yep.
So he gets 4 dice on the damage roll.
Yep.
Oh!
That is 4 sixes.
No, 2 4s and 2 6s.
Okay. Still.
Yeah.
Still.
Just that
yeah.
sweet 20 on the dice.
And Ben
You
seems
can
super
see-
happy
You
about
can
that.
see
Yeah,
Ben's
and-
shoulders slump a
Yeah.
little on
And-
that, yeah.
Ben is just through the roof on this one.
Yeah.
He loves such dice rolls.
And I mean that was even without the extra dark shroud from the Firefly.
From the Firefly, yeah. Yeah, I'm a little surprised.
Okay,
maybe
so
he didn't move
now
the Firefly
maybe-
up before taking
Yeah.
that shot.
Maybe wants to charge in or something at the end.
That could be.
The Firefly has to be in 5 inches of the Chimera, and if she's got ammunition, that's not a good idea.
That's
I'm
correct,
ac-
actually.
Maybe it depends. Would be okay with my opponent moving his ammunition model before I charge with my cavalry at it. So it depends on whether or not the threat range on the cavalry can get to it if it moved 3 inches directly away from them.
They have 13-inch threat range.
Right.
And he makes, I believe, 3 inches with ammunition?
Well,
Or
we
for
Yeah.
advance?
we
Three.
know blinding light is what, 10 inches, right?
Yeah.
So that's 10 inches.
So if he moves back, they can't charge him anymore.
Probably.
And definitely if he feeds, and yes, then, yeah.
But
So
I
now
mean,
the Thunderhead.
but Lance can still assault, right? They
Yes.
didn't lose that one. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So I guess we see
And
the
power
Thunderhead.
Power 14 for dice. That's not that much. 8 boxes.
What is shooting at him right now? I'm sorry. I'm having.
Thunderhead.
Oh, okay. And there you go.
9 bucks. She dies.
Yeah, it's going to be, shot off the table
And
between
she's
Nemo
gone.
and the Thunderhead. But that is the use of the feet. We'll see if the Storm, I wonder if the Storm Strider on the top has any chance of moving up and shooting into the Phoenix on this turn.
He has.
So that's 17, right?
moves-
Seems far.
He moves
Yeah.
5
No,
inches.
sorry, 19.
And 14 inches shot. No,
And this
he
is
doesn't.
12 across.
Yeah, that's
so
12
Yeah.
across. He
Yeah, yeah.
can't get at it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, he can't.
So without that, it's pretty much the feet is just for that jack. But like you said, Ricard, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty quickly taken off. Didn't have to really commit much else. I think right now he's measuring out threat range where he can put the Storm Strider that's blinding lighted and have it not, I don't know, get charged. Is he worried about being charged by the...
Probably. Because that's probably infiltrators down here. and not
it does look like
strikers.
infiltrators. Yeah, I think you're right. That is the unit of infiltrators because we can see like 2 swords on this guy here. So yeah, I think that is infiltrating unit. So you're right. He does not want to get charged by that.
Okay. So, do we want to stay here or
Yeah,
go
I think now that we've seen him take out the Arc Node, we can go ahead and switch over to let's
one
go
of the arc nodes? The
Well,
Phoenix is an arc node
right.
as well.
Yes. We'll go to table 2 with Haley 3 versus Amon. We can
And-
see this. It looks a lot like the other Haley 3 games we've watched so
Yep.
far.
We have 2
Yeah.
lines standing
I
on.
think we could check back in an hour and it wouldn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
look too different.
Is this turn 3 already? Is that what that die says? It must be
Yeah.
top of. It must
Yeah.
be
It
top
is.
of
It
3.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, top of 3, but it is.
No scores yet. It appears. Yeah, no scores yet.
No scores.
So we're on top of 3. Looks like both players playing pretty conservatively, which is not too much of a surprise. We got quite the jack wall here. I wonder if we're going to see anybody walk forward into the clouds this turn. It looks like, I mean, if it's 3, what does this Amon list have to actually score these zones, though? That's actually an interesting question
Choir?
because we can only...
You see a choir down here?
Right, so Choir is his options, and that's it. So it's Choir or Amon himself to score the zones.
And he has 2 units of choir.
He does.
1 min,
Yeah,
1 max.
Yeah, there's the max unit up here. There's the min unit down here.
Yeah.
So he can absolutely score. He's also got the book on the flag, which is worth noting. Yeah, I think Haley can probably sacrifice an infantry model to deny him some points on occasion, but that's not a long-term solution if he's racking up a point
Nope.
every turn. It also looks like if he can get Jax into here, he might be able to either walk him on up there. Probably not walk him on up there, but maybe he can get the choir all into this zone. I'm not sure. I don't think he's really looking too hard at scoring points this turn, other than on the flag, maybe. So yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to check in extremely briefly on 3 and see if we can make any sense out of what's going on here.
They're still playing.
It's 2, I think probably bottom of 2 based on position of models and activation by the Sweden player. It's pretty clear right now. Or sorry, Norwegian player.
Oh dear.
Oh, that was a mistake.
That was a
yeah.
big mistake.
It was
yeah.
nice knowing you.
Yeah. Well, my apologies, Ricard. I'm just a stupid American. What can I
Yes.
say?
That.
So, yeah, looks like nobody's scored here. Cautiously advancing into the zones. Obviously can't give up points. Yeah, the Wraith Engine here obviously looks like it's probably contesting Sasha's flag. Okay, so we have confirmation there was a measure there. I think maybe he'll score a point here. I can't tell what that model is, but it certainly looks like a solo. Probably, no, not Tartarus. Maybe like a Pistol Wraith, perhaps. No, it's hard to tell exactly what it is. But there's very clearly a model in contact with the flag. So we may say 1 point for the Norwegians here, but grindy, slow, ghost fleet on ghost fleet.
Yeah,
right?
ghost
So
on ghost action.
ghost on ghost action. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead and switch it over to 4. We've got Una 2 versus Lich 1 here. We see Lich making a pretty concerted push into that top zone. And like we sort of discussed, yes, there are magic attacks on the other side.
Yeah.
But it's either using Wraithbane, right, or it's POW 9 Blood Weavers.
Yeah, I mean, there are options.
Right, there are options, but it does look like his intent is to contest this zone mostly with the Wraith Engine and a few extraneous parts, and then just make a hard scenario push of the top zone
Yeah.
here.
Seems so.
Of course, both players leaning over the table makes it really hard to see anything or make any further commentary. So this is interesting on this table, right? We've got
Tartarus, probably, I think.
what's that?
Is it a Tartarus by the flag?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Tartarus by the flag, I think. The flag buried on some burning earth. Gives you only a few options for really scoring it with solos. Trying to say Banelord, Tartarus. There's Dara Wraith, but that's certainly not who that is. And those are his options besides Lich himself.
Yeah.
And I don't think you really Lich is, he's tough, but I don't think you want to catch your caster on fire if you can avoid it.
No fire
So-
is usually a bad
Yeah.
thing to have.
Yeah. So Tartarus there to try and get him some points. It looks like he might have one already. They've got their counters in a position, kind of weird position,
I think.
or maybe
No, that's it's turn 1.
right. See, I don't think it's turn 1.
Yeah,
I think
at
it's
least
turn
turn
2.
two. Yeah, at
And I
least
think
turn two.
maybe that counter on his side is indicating that he has 1 point, perhaps.
Yeah.
But that doesn't even make sense either. I don't know. We'll have to get some clarification on this table. Maybe we can
He
get
does
somebody
have
to check in
just
for us.
31 minutes left, so I would guess this is now the bottom of 2.
Okay. So apparently they haven't really been keeping too much track
So
of the rounds.
while we were talking, Bernhard moved the white main in the forest in the lower zone,
Yeah.
and kept him out of sight of anything on the Crux side, but moved Blood Weavers or Blood Trackers in front of it.
Right. And I think that the Sweden player Svera, is that
Svara.
Svera?
Close enough.
Yeah. I know I'm not saying it properly. Svera is, I mean, he's essentially conceding the zone. So what Bernard is doing about it,
Well, I think
or not conceding, but he's
the Wraith
he's-
engine is
he's conceding
showing its own.
scoring points on this zone. All he wants to do here, I think, is contest. So we'll see what Bernard decides to do about getting that Wraith engine out. He certainly doesn't want to send too much up north, but he is going to have to contest up north. We'll have to see what he does to put things in. Is this a Bane, or is that a circle model? It's hard to tell. Maybe that is his contesting. Maybe he just has like a single Bloodweaver or something to that effect, towing the zone for now, while he deals with the Wraith engine down south. Also looks like maybe he's made a couple of clouds here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about the thought behind that, what he's trying to cut down line on without them next to each other. And of course, these are the Dark Coast clouds up here.
Yeah.
North, yeah. So I don't know if it looks like we're still trying to all right, so it's currently the bottom of 2, so there can be no scoring until he flips over, which is happening right now. And they
Bernard
both
scored a...
Is it they both score points or just Bernard?
No, just Bernard scored a point.
On the
Okay,
flag.
This is a model here contesting.
Yep.
for
And he
Bernard.
scored on his own flag.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we'll see the response here. It looks like relatively easy for him to score both the top zone and the flag this turn.
Yeah, there's only one contesting model right on the top zone.
Right. And I would imagine it should be fairly simple for him to contest Bernard's flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, just run a
Right.
grunt in there.
At the very least, yeah, just
Yeah.
a single.
I mean, you
single
want to
dude.
push the Banes up anyway, so I mean,
Right,
like,
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
gonna happen naturally.
Yep.
Okay.
It does look like Bernard is setting up probably for some kind of alpha strike on the Wraith engine. I don't know how is Wraithbane 2 cost?
I would
yeah,
think so.
I think so. Yeah, it
We wanna
has
look it
to
up?
be. I don't think it costs 3.
So
Is
she can
there-
put it. She can put it out on 3 of the Griffins, perhaps. Pure blood. We're looking
Yeah.
for pure blood.
There we go.
All right. While we're looking that up, let's 2 cost. Yep. Let's go
Yeah,
ahead and go
let's
to
go to
5.
table
Check in
five and-
table 5. We have Rasheth versus Vindictus here.
Okay, so both Siege and Mantraxes are still on the table.
It looks like we imagine the feat token is still out, but we've gotten through the feat turn, I believe, because it looks as though Kuba is
Yeah.
activating. It does look like several members of those
Oh yeah.
exemplar
oh, yeah.
units that were forward have died.
Yeah.
So
Just
there's
down
a
to the right
yep,
here,
so
under
there's
his arm.
about a unit and a half worth of
Yeah, no
dead.
more.
Yeah. Looks like maybe even more. It looks like his arm's kind of hiding. So quite a few dead models there. I imagine we just saw the Siege Animatraxes get magic weapons and fire into the ones that came forward.
Yeah. Now you can see the whole amount, and there's a few more up here.
So we don't have a any score apparently, at least not that's evidence. If they do have a score, they haven't marked it as far as control points are concerned. So Dominic must have contested the zones in some way,
And the opposing flag.
and the opposing flag, which I'm particularly surprised by. It's a little tough to make out which ones are errants here
Yeah.
and which ones are exemplars. And yes, I know they're all exemplars, so nice exemplars, exemplar errants. We have lost a lot, more than I initially suspected. Now that he's moved his arm, we can see he's down.
Yeah, it seems he's done a
4,
lot of work.
6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 18, he started with 26. So he's down to 8 exemplar errants on the table at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite a good round of shooting, particularly under the feet.
Yeah.
I suppose the 2 shamans are magic attacks, right? The magic range attacks on the
I'll
shamans.
go have
Oh
a
yeah,
look.
true.
Yeah.
They
I
probably
can't
are.
imagine they're not because it's from their magic
Yeah,
eyeball, right?
magic eyeballs. And I mean the animantraxes are D3+1 shots, right?
Right.
Twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they are magic.
Okay. So this here, I believe, is a shaman that came forward to contest the flag on the last turn. This model. Is that correct? Okay, so that's contesting this flag here.
There's the shooting Cyclops is in the bottom, contesting the bottom zone.
All right, so the Raider, Cyclops Raider,
Raider.
is here contesting that, and then
And right behind the house.
and behind the house, yeah. And then there is some kind of model up here. Okay, so apparently the unit of slingers came in to the top zone. Most of them have died, but it looks like there might be one left. That does look like it could be a slinger that I keep drawing the line to. So that was how Dominic managed to contest on the last turn. Keep the score down. Kind of took quite a bit of the shock and sting out of the board press of Vindictus
Oh,
on the
yeah.
last turn. I'm still surprised he managed to remove that many errants under feet. Like we said, there's assuming max, it's like 8 attacks from the Siege Animatrax.
I'm wondering if the feet maybe was used the turn before or something, and just shoved it to the side afterwards, the feet token.
Yeah, it's possible. I felt like we either saw him put the token down, or it just felt like the way he was moving it was the feet turn.
Yeah.
You know, like the way he unpacked it. Let me take a second look at this Resheth list and see just how many. So we've got, out of the extollers, we can get the Siege Animatrax's shooting. I
Two
think
shamans.
we've got 2 shamans to shoot.
He can throw out the clouds, I guess. Breath of Corruption.
Yeah, Breath of
got the
Corruption. Yeah, that's a good point. Breath of Corruption could help. The Reavers obviously don't have. The Slingers' attacks are not magical.
This looks like Breath of Corruptions, both of them.
Yeah, so maybe that helped. You're right. I think these do look like Breath of Corruptions right here. So that probably helped take out that top unit. And then, yeah. So just a combination of a pretty good amount of magical attack output out of the Resheth list to kind of punch through Vindictus's feet. And I suspect
And,
Kuba has to be disappointed with the board state after
I
his feet.
I
turn.
would
believe-
assume so.
I believe that just behind Resheth is his feet token.
That there could be the feet token. Yes, I agree. It looks like it is. the
Which
feet
would
token.
mean +2 def and arm on
Right.
top of +2 strength.
Right.
Um,
He did go ahead and manage to kill the shaman that's contesting his flag, so he probably will score his flag this turn.
yeah.
I wonder if he'll be able to remove this model. I'm assuming this model is contesting. That appears to be an errant, but I think this model here is contesting that top zone, and I
Yeah.
think that may be the only model contesting that top zone.
That might very well be, yeah.
Okay, we're going to go check out table 1 where we've got some action unfolding.
Oh wow.
It,
Okay. So it seems that there is Ares standing on the
right here.
signal flag.
That is. We're
Yeah.
going to go double check to make sure, but it looks like it is the German player's Iris standing on that flag that she managed to somehow kill a Stormlance that was in this zone contesting it. Okay, that makes more sense. It's a Mage Hunter Assassin, not Iris. So Mage Hunter Assassin came to the flag, killed the Stormlance that was contesting the bottom zone, sitting on this flag. He's going to score this flag. It does not look like there's anything within 4 inches here. He has control of this zone if he moves infantry in it, and
Yes,
he
controls.
already what's that?
He has control of this zone as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is the ability to
4
score
points.
4 points. Now, the Swedish player has one point. It looks Norwegian player. Sorry. All right. He does need to commit infantry to score this, but to go up to 4, and
Yeah,
he
but
is currently moving his infantry and not putting them in the zone.
Yeah, but going up 4-1 is...
Yeah,
puts him
going
in-
up 4-1 is huge. He has the ability, and it doesn't look
He
like
doesn't.
he will. He will only go up 3-1. That's curious.
Yeah, maybe he has... Yeah, maybe he has too much...
Now,
he's
based
fearing the Storm Strider too much?
yeah, it could be. Based on the tokens that we saw last turn for Blinding Light, it appears there is 0 Blinding Light on the table right now, so everything is going to be able
And
to retaliate.
maybe he's just... the feed is gone, the Jack is still alive, the Jack is contesting the zone, so the Norwegian player won't be able to score that zone, and whatever he puts in that zone, these guys just shoot off. So...
It certainly could be. I am surprised that he
me
chose
too.
not to.
Yeah.
Me
I mean, it seems like a huge scenario swing for Ben.
It
for
does.
sure. Because I think it's going to be sort of tricky to meaningfully contest the flag. I guess the Stormlands will do it, obviously, but
They can contest the flag for
Yeah.
a turn, but without like some massive attrition,
yeah,
they're not going to survive out there.
no, absolutely not.
I want to look at the Assyria list briefly and just see. So yeah, he has Spears of Syra, which I think is like this unit here. I can't see
Yeah.
maybe the third one. No,
No,
'cause
that
that won't
can't be
score the
good.
flag.
Yeah, that's solo.
So I'm not sure where the third one is, but the fact that the two, I'm pretty sure those are Spears of Syra.
That's a Mage on the Strike Force.
Oh, you're right,
model.
because that's not a spear. Okay. So maybe he just didn't have a unit besides this whole unit, and he didn't want to cram the whole unit into the zone for fear of losing a ton of them.
Yeah.
The spears have shield guard, so maybe that's next to Assyria is
One of the spears.
one
there.
of the spears, and that's the other two.
Let me see. Is Narn in this list? No. Yeah, Narn's in this. That looks like Narn to me because it looks like cross swords in front of him. Okay, so Narn is the one that's on the back flag. So this is
Okay.
Narn. So yeah, you very well that may be a spear. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what his response is here. That's it was an interesting gambit to be able to clear the flag and give yourself 4 control points and then not take all 4.
Yeah,
So
but I guess I
He
guess
would
it
have
feels
to
enough
move.
ahead.
He would have to move the whole unit into
Right.
the.
Yeah,
So he didn't score down here. Oh no, that's infiltrators. He did
Can-
score down
yeah,
here.
can we double check and make sure he does have 3 points?
Yeah,
I think it's
we
3,
already
but-
no, we already checked. We checked.
We did.
checked, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then we know he's got 3 points. I was pretty sure he had a whole unit in this
Yeah,
bottom zone.
that was
but,
the
but yeah. Okay.
infiltrators. But he would have to move the whole strike force in the into the zone,
Right.
and which makes them possibly too vulnerable to the Storm Strider leaping
Or-
off the horses.
I think more than the Storm Strider, it's the Thunderhead, right? The Thunderhead here and Pulse that's a pretty big deal. Does Nemo
Yeah,
3
if he
have
gets that far, yes.
Does Nemo 3 have Energizer or a way to increase
No.
the Thunderhead's threat range?
He doesn't have Energizer.
Or the one that's like just
Locomotion?
the one locomotion? Yeah, the single jack moves quite some way.
No, he
No.
doesn't.
Okay.
None of
So
that.
yeah, that's quite a long way for him to be able to get. So
Hmm.
I
It's
don't
weird.
know.
It's a
The
tad
Storm
weird.
Strider itself seems like
We have to
because
ask
he has to.
Ben
He has.
about it.
He's not taking initial damage off the shots because he's going to have to arc because of stealth. I'm surprised that he didn't choose to take the extra point. But maybe he just feels extremely advantaged in terms of being able to respond to whatever he puts in the zones, like you said, Frank.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't need to force anything or risk anything at this point.
yeah,
Just to
probably.
just to grab that point.
Yeah, because the Syrian list has obviously a lot of value models. Like there's no shaft to contest with,
Right.
so, and whatever's gonna touch the zone, that's gonna get obliterated.
Right. Yeah, let's go check in on table 3, and then maybe we'll come back and All right, so the Norwegians have lost their battle engine.
Oh boy.
We have a request for a New York Times update. Are we still on course for our prediction of a German 3-2 win?
Me personally, more so than before. Now that I see how the games are going, yeah.
It does, in general, I would say, as we flip through the games, it does. The games that we thought would be advantage to Sweden seem to be a little tighter to Norway. Why do I keep saying Sweden? I don't know. To Norway.
So you don't have to worry about me going off on the stream right
Hey.
now, because Rickard is ready to explode.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
ready to strangle me, and rightly so. At least I'm not saying Finland.
I think that the Clintons gonna mute me pretty soon.
So, what were we saying? Oh, yes, the matches where we felt like the Norwegian players were ahead, I feel like are much closer than we expected. Well, we
You
expected
wouldn't be the
close
first
matches,
Swede that I have muted this week.
but the matches where we felt the Germans were favored seem like the Germans remain favored. Yeah, I do think we are on track for a German victory currently.
Yeah.
And
If I'm gonna call things way too early, as the New York Times
Yes.
reporters often do, yes.
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 It looks like the Coven has feeded right now. It's the
Yes, I agree.
the Norwegian
the
player is
Coven-
playing
so
into the Coven feed
not
right
only
now.
is the Coven feed token here, but instead of, well, the Egregore is not wildly far forward, but we've seen in this matchup the Egregore doesn't tend to get quite as far forward. There are still plenty of models on both sides, but yes, only one Wraith engine. It does appear we have Sasha up 2-1.
Yeah,
According to them, it's still the second turn.
that can't be right.
I suspect it's the third turn.
Yeah, me too. Because otherwise,
There's
unless he allowed the Norwegian player to score on his flag on his turn. No, it's Campi. No, it's Campi right. It can't be turn 2.
no, it can't be turn 2. So they may be using it to mark how many turns they have played, perhaps, or maybe they just forgot to flip it over to 3. But Sasha is up. It looks like he's probably scored this zone and most likely his own flag on the end of the last turn. All right, let's go check in with let's check in with Vindictus and Rasheth on table 5. See if Vindictus was able to kind of counterpunch back at all.
And it's already Dominic's turn again.
Yeah, it's Dominic's turn, and they don't have any CP markers. But
He is removing.
it seems like the models that we thought were contesting the flag and the top zone were both removed from the table. So maybe he didn't have a unit to put. No, there was. He had to have a unit to put in that top zone. So I wonder if they just didn't put a marker down for us. I can't imagine that Kuba got out of the last turn without scoring at least 1 point. Yeah, well,
Seems
we'll
weird.
find out. It seems unlikely. He killed the Cyclops contesting the flag. We watched that happen. So unless there was a random additional model that he simply couldn't remove there, it seems like this flag alone should have been scored. We're going to get some... Oh, yep, there. So it looks like 2 points. So yes, he's managed to score that top zone and managed to
Yeah.
score the flag as we suspected.
But right now, the upper Animanthrax is towing that zone.
It is.
And
So-
he doesn't have a lot of models up there to deal with it. There's no exemplar errands. There's a single model, probably a choir boy, towing the zone from the other side.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this model here on the hill is.
That's a really good question.
Is it a Cyclops? No, because it's a large base, right?
Can you remove the...
Yep, I can pull the telestrate off. It looks like it's probably a Minoth Jack.
yeah.
And if it's a Minoth Jack, this model here on the hill. Then it is the Sanctifier. So can the Sanctifier get in and kill that battle engine on its own? It's POW 14 and 16, I believe. Somewhat depends on whether or not there's a choir boy within walking distance of it to bump it up to 16, 18.
Let's see.
Yep. So it is the heavy Menoth Jack, so it's got to be the Sanctifier.
Yeah.
Yep. So it is POW 14, 16. So if you can get a choir boy to it, raise it up to 18. Fully loaded. The Siege Animatrax is armor. I want to say armor 20.
I want to say you're correct.
Okay, so armor 20 has looks like 35
5
boxes. That's rough.
That's rough.
That's pretty rough. He's going to need more than that. So does he have any?
I mean, with choir, you're looking at 5 per attack, probably.
Yeah. So even
So-
with choir, it's not going to be enough.
Probably not, unless he spikes.
Unless he spikes. So he's going to need a little extra to chip in. And I think you're right, Frank. It doesn't really look like he has much extra to chip in.
Yeah.
I don't know what this model is. It could be
This
a
is
Devout
probably
or
a
a
choir boy
dervish.
as well. This is something.
that, based on the paint scheme, is a lone member of one of the units of errants that is
Okay.
mostly dead.
That's the choir boy. That's maybe a rack. No, it can't be that far
No.
forward.
I think that is probably the dervish.
So how much is Rashid camping? I'm thinking
Yeah,
if
that's possible because one of them is here.
Rash's camp looks like it's a fat stack.
fat stack, yeah.
Did you just call him fat?
He's tubby.
Big bone.
Eh.
So yeah, if he can remove that Siege Animatrax up in the top, I think the Dominic starts to have a problem, maybe. I don't think there's much that Kuba can do about the bottom zone, though.
Yeah.
So we'll
I
have
think
to
he's
see.
lost too many errands and too many Knights Exemplar.
I'm not
he-
sure if he's lost any of the Knights Exemplar yet, but it's hard to tell.
I would say he's starting to give the Animatorexes free reign, at least in the bottom half.
Yeah, no, I think the bottom half is
Gone from
Is-
Menoth.
pretty much gone for Menoth. He's hoping that he can hold on and contest a little bit for maybe another turn. But that's definitely a problem for him. If he can kill this Siege Animatrix in the top, you might make it a more even game. We'll have to see. Let's go check in on another table. It's been a little while since we... Oh, okay, we apparently have something going on 1, so we're going to go check in on 1. Yeah, so we can see the infiltrators are gone.
Yeah.
And
No, not all of them. One of them is still alive.
Sure, there is one out of the unit, but
It's still contesting.
it is contesting, and that's valuable. But that
Especially since that seems to be the lone Stormlands from one of the min units.
it is.
And
It's the last.
he
Stormlands
could
we're
score
doing.
if he wasn't contesting with that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So the Mage Hunter Assassins died, and the Norwegian player is going to be able to score his flag this turn. He's also got the Stormstrider down here towed in, and that's what's decimated that unit of infiltrators. So you can kind of just see what the capability of and why perhaps the German player has played so cagey last turn with these,
Yeah.
because that's the capability the Stormstrider
Yeah.
has,
Oh.
even when Electro Leaping.
The Stormlands we saw earlier up here was still alive. He just moved her down the
Yeah, that
down here.
yeah. So he's got 1 Stormlance remaining, 2 Stormlance remaining, 3 Stormlance, 4 Stormlance. So he has 4 Stormlance models.
So there's
out
a
of
full
6.
unit, full min unit, and a one of the other unit
Right. Yep.
still alive.
Yep. So it looks like he's activating the second Stormstrider, and we'll see what his target for. Oh no, just getting the solo out of the way here, and then Yeah, looks like he's going to shoot that Storm Lance in the back and try to arc into the model on Narn. I
Yeah.
think it's
Narn,
Narn
yeah.
on that. Yeah.
And he kills
Does
it.
Takes
Pop up.
Narn off the flag.
And Benny doesn't look happy about it.
Okay. So it seems that Ben is getting diced, maybe?
Three Electro
Oh,
Leaps,
three Electro Leaps, yeah.
just chasing its way up into the other infantry models we saw there.
Yeah. Which were
So-
probably two of the spears of Syra.
Yep. Looks like he's got a Stormcaller still way up in the top there, so he's going to come down, do a little triangulation maybe. No, just staying out of threat
Yeah.
range of the. Yep, ship it over. I
Scores
think he
one, I
scores
guess.
one. to
1
take it
point
up
on
to
his own
2.
flag, yeah.
So it's probably 3-2 is my
Yep.
guess.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to see on that white die if it's 2 or 3, but I think he had 3 points before, right?
So the
Yeah.
question is, can Ben score 4 now? Because we only have one Stormlance contesting the upper zone, right?
There is no this. I mean, we could verify, but because of this
That
shallow
that
water there,
should be
I'm
in.
pretty sure that Storm Strider is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got 2. I'm pretty sure this Storm Strider is towed into the back of that zone, so that's going to be with what he's got here. That's going to be pretty
Yeah,
rough
that's
to
gonna be
score
rough.
that. So
Yeah.
I don't think 4 points is a possibility. Scoring this zone means killing that Storm Lance, so that is certainly possible, but it will cause him again to score that zone. He has to put the whole unit in, and
Yeah.
we see what happens.
So he's possibly not being able to score the enemy flag because Thunderhead is in 4 inches,
Yeah.
probably.
So yeah, seems unlikely.
So
yeah.
yeah, I think he can score this top zone if he wants, but that's going to potentially
about
cost
it,
him
yeah.
the unit of Strike Force, which he didn't want to do on the last turn. And
But I think that
maybe
he
he
can.
can get something back to his flag. Probably kill this guy and score his flag if he wants to.
It will be interesting to see if he could kill the Thunderhead and actually blinding light both the battle landings. I think he would be in a pretty good
Then
position.
he's in a good position.
Yeah.
But
So the question
this
is if he has the range.
This is his arc node.
Yeah, it
so
seems
to get-
20 inches. Is
Yeah, to get both of them. This one is, I think, maybe the problem.
He just measured the range to Thunderhead. I think the charge range to Thunderhead,
Yeah.
and I don't think he got it. So let's see.
Do we have some action on 4 that we need to check in on, or can we stay with this table for a minute? Do we have some action on 4 that we need to check in on, or can we stay with this table for a minute? All right. Let's. I'd like to see what the response here from. Is it Benjamin? Is that right, Benjamin? The Assyrian?
Benjamin,
Yes,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do a quick check in, and then we're gonna come right
On
back.
table 4.
All right, so this is the Lich 1 Una 2 table.
Yeah,
The
and
Crix player has sort of dominated his zone, but the Una player is threatening the.
but it's turn 3. It's 2-2.
Yes.
And the Crix player is down to 13 minutes, whereas Bernhard is down to 32 minutes.
yes, that's
Mm.
correct. Looks like it's turn 3 according to the dice. Does that look right to you guys? Yeah.
And I
Yeah, I
think
think
that
it's turn
Tartarus has been replaced by Daragrath now.
Yes.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
it has.
Yeah. So I don't know
So-
if the old tartar sauce went in. I'm not sure what these models are on this flag here. Yeah, we're gonna get somebody to check and just see if Tartarus is still alive and up there contesting the enemy flag, or so sort of what we looked at. We're trying to pick up some of the models in this bottom zone. I wonder what all those markers on the Griffins are this turn.
Probably primaled,
I wonder
which
that,
I
but there
can't.
was- but
I
then
can't imagine why
right.
they'd be primaled.
Right,
But,
I don't think it's primal because they didn't go into the Wraith engine.
yeah.
You know, they're sitting just in the back of the zone. There wasn't anything there. He did bring some Bane Riders down to kind of clear out some infantry. It does look like most of the Tharn, if not all, but like say this guy here, is pretty much evaporated.
Yep.
I have to think Lich is probably feeded at this point.
I would assume so.
Okay, so this is a Stalker and a... Okay, so this is a Stalker and this is a Bane contesting the flag. Okay, so that's
White
one
ma-
of the...
White man probably.
Yeah, the Tharn White Mane, I think. So yeah, the Stalker and that Bane have moved in to contest that flag. Tartarus is dead. Dara Wraith is sitting on his own flag, which looks relatively unassailable from this position at the
Yep.
moment. Yeah, this looks like it's going poorly for the Una player to me. This is one of the few Norwegian games that I feel like is going kind of to prediction,
Yeah.
at least on your side, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's flip back and see if Benjamin has managed. Nope, this is the right table. Yep. So back over here with Benjamin and Tor and Assyria and Nemo 3. Still planning out his turn a little bit, it looks like. See if he can make a big scenario push.
Can give you a quick update on the Robin table situation. He has his knee on the table, so he's going to serious mode now.
Yeah.
We can go check that out actually very, very quickly if we want to. Table 2 with Robin and Christian. 2. Yep. Table 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the Haley 3 and Amon game, and quite honestly, this looks exactly like when we checked in.
Yeah.
But the
Game having gone 4 turns.
the dervishes are not quite in exactly the same straight line, but
Wiggle around
pretty.
a bit. Yeah, a little bit wiggly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we can make out the control point. Seems to be 1-1.
It seems to be 1-1, and
Yeah.
we're in turn 4.
So probably just scoring off the flag and
Yep,
just
yep.
juggling that.
Yep, just
back and
scoring
forth.
off the flag. Each player's managed to pick up a point off the flag.
Seems to be maybe 3 dervishes down, maybe, if you can go by the dead pile in the lower
Yeah,
right
it looks
corner.
like 3 dervishes down. I can't. It looks like the infantry may have been thinned a little bit. Like I said, I think he's just walking dervishes into clouds and then just kind of attacking.
Yeah.
Maybe a trench buster there, or maybe Thorn.
It seems that Robin is probably going to try to
That's
clear the
Trench
upper
Buster.
zone and just take control of it. Just grinding it down.
Clear the upper zone.
Yeah.
I think so. And I think he just has better tools to do that than the Haley does, kind of like we predicted. So this looks advantage for the Norwegians slightly, but not a game of a ton of progress so far. So let's flip back to table 1 again
Yeah,
and
let's see
see
what's happening.
if Benjamin and Assyria are making any plays on the Storm Striders. So far, it doesn't appear that
they are
he's-
both down to 20 minutes on the clock.
Yes,
He
both are
has
at 20
removed the
minutes.
Stormlands, contesting
Yep.
his own flag. And he has
Yeah.
removed
Yes, he
second
has.
Stormlands.
Yep, so he'll be able to score his flag this turn if he has a solo to get there.
I'm not sure if he's loaded up the...
That's the spears, the remaining spears. That.
And I think, interestingly enough, is that the acid bath that his flag is sitting in? It is, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anybody going in there is picking up some corrosion.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
that's corrosion tokens.
Yep.
Okay,
Alright,
now he's
so
moving the strike force
He is
into the
choosing to move
zone.
the strike force in. He just needs to clear, I think, that one Stormlance to score. Apparently,
Yeah.
now is the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He hasn't moved his Arc node to the Phoenix yet, so
time's running out.
may
Yeah, I
still
think-
be may still have the plan to blinding light here, but
Yeah, I mean, Syria seems to have defeated, so I don't think we're going to see any blinding light actions. I
oh
think
yeah, yep, you're right. That
I
is
mean,
a
I-
fee token. Yeah,
I just think that he's going to go in and punch whatever's standing around in the cloud.
yep, I think you're right. Curious what this proxy base is. I wonder if this is actually where Thunderhead is.
No, the Thunderhead is... I think that's just the charge landing spot for the Arc node.
Yeah.
Oh, for his, that's
Yeah.
his.
Yeah, 'cause it's still-
this proxy
'cause
for
it's-
him.
yeah, and there we
okay,
go.
Okay.
Because it's still focused up.
Yeah. All right. So he's gone ahead and remove that Stormlance. Now he's shooting
And-
into one of the Fireflies.
And for the people wondering why he's shooting a Firefly in a cloud, many feet. Yep, he just ignores the cloud.
Right. Gonna try to pick off these. Yep,
Uh,
definitely
is
kills
that
the Stormcaller.
Just for my confirmation, is that if you stand more than 3 inches in a cloud, you can't see it either, or is that just
No, if-
forest?
If you're, I think it's.
I think as soon as you touch the cloud, you can be seen.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I-
matter the
I
depth.
believe
It's not
so,
like
yeah.
a forest.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, that's my. I believe that's correct. If you're in the cloud, you're not protected. Well, we may be right or wrong. The cloud or the typically a cloud is only 3 inches across most times, sometimes 4. So with the-
Standing more
with the
than 3
cloud
inches in
banks,
a
it's,
cloud, yeah.
Yeah. Let me actually see if it's on the handy sheets we've got for the terrain. So dense fog, patches of dense fog or thick smoke limit visibility. Templates are just cloud effects. So whatever cloud effects are,
I'm gonna look it up. Let's
Okay.
see.
we'll double check. Let's see about that. He's debating what he wants to do with this bottom unit of strike force here. Thinking about targeting that Firefly.
Yeah, no, it's as we said. Like you can
If you're in the cloud,
Oh,
you can see
yeah.
regardless of how deep.
you can see
across the
into
cloud
it or out of it, but
Right,
you
right,
can't
yeah.
see through it.
Yep. So yeah.
So that might be an expensive lesson for the Norwegian player.
Yes,
If
So
that was the
now
case.
he's going after the Firefly down there.
he is. Yeah,
Under
with
flag.
being under the feet, try to cut down on some models, some attacks here. They don't get it's literally Jack Hunter, right? They don't get the bonus against constructs. It's only
No,
war
Jack
jacks.
Hunter.
Yeah.
That's why I thought the Striker 1 double Storm Strider list would be good into Ocean, for instance.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Right.
and Alex just taught me another lesson in that not being true.
Fair enough.
It was
So I'm curious what he's got to score his own flag, or if that's something that he's even considering at this point.
maybe not. He doesn't have anything left except Assyria, and I can't imagine that that
Say he's
Assyria
got
is
some-
going into that acid bath.
No, he's got some Arcanist mechanics.
Yeah, but one is behind the Phoenix.
Right.
Probably gave him concentrated power or something.
I would imagine, yes. So that's why I'm
Um,
wondering if there's
but
there's a
that's-
model here.
That's an aim. That was an aiming strike force.
Oh. Okay, not shooting at the Firefly, shooting at something else, obviously. Okay. So just rolling damage on the Firefly here. The glare makes it hard, but yeah. Sort of expected a whole unit of science important strike force probably can kill a light warjack with shooting.
Should be able to, I think.
Just try to
So-
block the Storm Strider there.
Yeah, that's the single surviving infiltrator
Right.
who just pushed into the.
All right, so here it looks
And
like
now the Phoenix is going
Phoenix
in
is going in.
on the Firefly.
On the Stormlance is
On
his
the
charge
Stormlance.
target. Yep. So Stormlance is
Okay.
his charge target.
Hits it.
And pretty
And
certainly just explodes him.
Second
Now
attack on the
attack into the
Firefly.
Firefly.
Hits. Yes, 13. Of course he hits. Well, doesn't do a lot of damage. Oh, right, because he. Yes, so he didn't roll an 8 to hit. He rolled a 6 because it's science importance, and that's why he had to check. The Norwegian player had to check if it definitely hit. But obviously he did.
These Fireflies are a little
Yeah.
hard to hit sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he now has finished the attacks, and he didn't kill it.
Okay.
Not sure how much
I
power.
believe he only scores 1 point.
Yeah, up to 4-2.
Yep.
So what do you
That's
f-
interesting.
Is it 4-2 or 4-1?
No, 4-2. That's a
That's
definitely
a 2?
2.
Okay, all right.
So how do you feel about this game? I'm kind of maybe want to swing this in Norway's favor now.
I think this is in Norway's favor slightly. It depends. Killing all the Stormlances is kind of big. It limits his ability to find. Oh,
Beacons, yeah.
what we just had did. How did he get another attack on the Phoenix?
So yeah, maybe he got got free strike.
Maybe a free strike. That's bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just walking the
Yeah, I
Firefly
mean
away.
the strike force is really clumped up over there.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's a prime target for the Firefly walking over into 5-inch or into 4-inch, and then just leaping the hell out of the Strider.
not only that, but if he can do something about that Phoenix without using the Thunderhead, if
Yeah.
the Stormstriders, Thunderhead can kind of, well, I don't know, maybe
Yeah, I
move
don't
in
know.
and just it's only like a 5-inch walk, 5-inch pulse, right? 6-inch pulse.
Yeah.
So only 11 inches. I'm not sure that the Thunderhead can really. So I imagine Thunderhead's going to try to deal with the Phoenix.
Okay, so now the chat is reminding us the last token Benjamin put on the Firefly was a fire token, so he died to a fire row.
Nice.
Oh, the
The sword of
the
the Phoenix.
sword of the Phoenix
Yeah.
with the yep.
Okay, thanks, Chad.
Yep.
Well,
Good catch, chat.
I wish Chad was here.
Okay.
So
Okay, so how many models does the Norwegian actually have to work with? He's got the Thunderhead, the double Striders. Is that the thing he's got to work with now?
That's pretty much it. Now he's in Storm
There's a-
Division. Everybody is immune to electricity, so he can beacon Electro Leap off of any of those
Yeah.
random solos or whatnot that's
and
rattling
that-
around.
those are Stormsmith.
Well, there should only be one Stormsmith remaining because there were only 2 in the list, and they definitely come on top.
those come in sets of 3.
Stormsmith, Stormcaller. Oh, you're right. They do come in sets of 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
So
point.
these are
Good point.
probably 2 Stormsmith.
Yeah. So Stormsmith.
That's Junior down here.
Yep. Junior, we can see pretty clearly over here.
And Strange Ways behind Thunderhead, and then that's Nemo.
Yeah.
Probably.
Strange Ways, Nemo, and
No, that's Strange Ways. That's probably
not Lattimore. What's his?
Finch.
His Finch. Yeah, that's probably Finch. So Jake's. No, Jake's wasn't in this list.
Because I feel that he kind of has to deal with the Arc Node now, because otherwise it's going to be blinding light flying all over the place next turn.
Oh yeah, he absolutely has to deal with the Phoenix. I think his best route is going into the Thunderhead, but the Thunderhead's not. He's kind of pillow-fisted.
Yeah, I think it's like 16 or something, right?
Unless I haven't seen him a lot on the table in Mark III, so maybe he got an upgrade to power, but
Let us see. Thunderhead is 17.
yeah, POW 17s. So he's
and
not-
also sustained attack.
is that on the fists as well? Or
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
17.
So that Phoenix, I don't know, it should die.
So are we attacking the Phoenix now with the
Yeah.
Thunderhead? Is that
Yeah.
what's happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Okay.
And I think Nemo 3 has a strength.
Yeah, the Lightning Shroud is
Yeah,
plus 2
Lightning
strength.
Shroud.
So
Okay,
it goes
so
up
it's
to
power
19.
19.
19 helps. Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Yeah. That last damage roll, pretty good. It might be just enough. Yeah, it looks like it. So it should trigger. Oh no, maybe not.
Still alive.
Maybe still alive.
Seems like a few boxes in the left,
Yep.
left corner.
So not enough to trigger a Phoenix field. Right, he still has, or
No, that's Imperatus, right?
Imperatus. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Imperatus.
Yeah, so this is a...
Yeah.
And he still needs to have something to contest the upper zone. So it seems that he's probably running low on mouths.
Well, I wonder if we're gonna run a solo into the zone, have the Stormstrider charge the Phoenix, hope to kill it, and then shoot into the model to leap into the
That
the
could,
infantry.
could
So
be a thing.
he's now measuring if he can't stay out of melee range of both the Phoenix and the one of the surviving spears.
Right. Which it
And
looks
Yeah.
fairly simple for him
Yeah.
to do.
fairly simple for him to do.
Yep.
And this Stormsmith is probably getting a few hits from the Storm Strider up
I
his
would,
butt.
Yeah.
I would imagine that
Yep.
that's what is going to happen. Yep, and so exactly what I suggested. We got the Storm Strider's going to charge in to try and finish off the Phoenix,
Contest also.
and contest the
seems like it.
zone, and then probably blast the Stormcaller and arc some lightning into.
What's the
into
range
the
of
strike
the
force.
Strider's weapon? 1?
It might be 2.
That would trigger me.
What are you looking up?
The range of the Storm Strider.
14.
No, I mean the stomp. It's
The
range
stomp
1.
is range 1.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's got to be within an inch.
So seems to have sort of an iffy charge angle.
Yeah, just checking to see if he has the proper angle to charge. Looks like he can't get the Storm Strider in the zone.
No, it could probably be an illegal charge if he did that.
So power up. It
Yeah.
just gets 1.
Well, technically it's not power up, but
Well, yeah.
the power token, yeah. Hits the Phoenix and power 13.
Power
Yeah.
13 is off. Not enough.
Not enough, yeah.
Yeah. About whether it's cocked or not.
Yeah, it hits.
Boost damage. By boost damage.
Because he wants
No.
to kill. He does kill the Phoenix. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. That dice roll's not high enough. It looks like
Yeah,
he's
just 2
maybe a
boxes.
point or 2 points short.
He hits and.
That,
And does kill
that'll-
it.
that'll-
Okay,
Yeah,
that
that'll
will
take
kill
care of
it.
it.
Too bad.
But I think that was his shot into it there.
Yeah.
I think it soaked that. That's the entire activation.
Yeah.
So those
The bottom
strike force
strider.
may be safe.
Maybe not. He'll stomp the strike force in the bottom zone now.
Gets 1 power token for scuffling its feet along the
And
Yep.
carpet.
boosts the hits, and of course 3.
Yeah.
3 leaps.
Yeah.
Removes. That should have been 4 removed. Because he rolled a 5, so 3 additional leaps.
Yes. Yeah.
Onto the
Yep.
model that
Yeah.
he hit with the stomp.
Yeah, I think he should have removed 4. I think we may have ended up not killing quite enough models. Some bad to hit rolls
So
on
the Norwegian player is down to 12 minutes to Benjamin's 14
Yeah.
minutes. He's scoring his own flag and goes up to 3 points, which makes it 4-3 for Benjamin.
Alright.
But Benjamin doesn't have a lot or anything left to kill the Storm Striders, unless he spikes really hard on the Strike Force.
Yeah, I think
And
this-
there's a Thunderhead still alive, so
right.
this actually doesn't look too good for Benjamin.
All right, let's go ahead and check in on a different table. Let's go to 4, where we have Una 2 and Lich 1.
Go to table 4. Oh,
So 5
And
points
turn
to Lich.
4. But the Lich player has 5.5 minutes left to Bernhard's 20.
So he's up 2, but there is not a lot of circle models left on the table. Looks like we have 4. We do have 4 Griffins down here in the bottom zone, and I'm guessing is that Una, right there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's Una.
So that's
Because he's
Una and
pushing hard.
4 Griffins, yeah. So he's got this covered. He's about to take. I can't imagine that this pureblood is going to live a whole lot longer, and this is the Gorax, I suspect.
Yeah, it is.
So we're going to go check in on table 5. Very quick. That game is wound down. Rasheth and Vindictus. Looks like it's all finished up. Apparently we missed an assassination on Vindictus,
Okay.
which would have been interesting to see. That's definitely
So
the
Germany's
least
up
assassinated
1-0.
Minotaur
Yes.
caster. So yes, Germany goes up. This was a match that I think you and I thought was in favor of the Vindictus player.
Yep.
And for me, it was too close to call.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. We're up
So-
1-0. That's awesome.
Managed to keep both Siege and Animatrix alive throughout the game. Didn't have to use them to contest the zones.
Yep.
Managed to do a lot of work under Vindictus's feet turn,
Yes.
and just too much. All right, we're gonna go check in on the Ghost Fleet mirror here. Pretty difficult to tell exactly whose models is whose, but it's not hard to tell that Sasha has 4 control points to 1.
And
For
the
Norway.
Norwegian player is down to 3.5 minutes
Yes, he
to
is.
Sasha's 24.
Yes.
So that's probably gonna go Sasha's way as
Yeah,
well.
I would imagine this game is pretty much in the hands of the Germans, barring a Hail Mary miracle assassination on the Coven. And as we've seen already, Sasha's Coven are hard to kill.
Yes. They can tank a lot of the faces.
Yes, they can.
Yeah.
So we may switch off this table pretty quick. We just have our tech guy Clint has stepped away for a moment.
Yeah.
He's checking to see exactly how the assassination went down on 5 for us. Trying to make out. It's, as always, it's hard. There's quite a few Blackbanes left, but they're fairly irrelevant in the matchup.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back to the turtle real quick just so you can show 'em.
Okay, so we're going to look at table 5 very briefly just to give you an overview of kind of how this went down. Okay, so here we are on table 5.
Hi, Trisha Takanawa here. So apparently a Puppet Mastered Siege Animatrax got into the back arc of Vindictus. He rolled a hit, he hit, and the guy immediately conceded because it was over.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is the one in the back arc, obviously. That means Vindictus is quite a way up the board.
Yeah.
So I think
Welcome
that's
back.
assassination by attrition is really what that boils
Yeah.
down to.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
So we go back to the Cricks.
looks like it's flipped back over. Like we said, Sasha up 4-2 now. He did score. Did
And
he?
it looks like they are trying to figure out which round it is because they paused the clock and are discussing this now. Okay, it's round.
Oh, okay, so it was melee. It wasn't shooting. So that the Siege Animatrax used to kill Vindictus. So Vindictus was down in that bottom zone. But yeah, taking POW 18 hits,
It's not a happy place.
it's not a good place to be if you're a warcaster.
No.
Yeah.
Everything I'm seeing up in the top of that picture is he's up 4-2. It's round 5. He's up 20 minutes on the Norwegian player. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think that there's much game left here to play.
And he has a Wraith engine left.
And even if there was much game here to play, I'm not sure we could make it out. So
No.
Yeah.
Just,
I think we can go
just
ahead
ghosts. Yeah.
and let's check in on the Haley 3 and Amon. We haven't been there for a while on table 2.
There's no smoke.
All right, smoke is done. A lot of Haley
Dervishes are
models
dead.
gone. There are quite a few dervishes dead. That's
They
Yeah.
are going back into the sea.
yeah.
Greenpeace
Get
came
off
and
my
rolled them
beach.
back into the sea.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dervishes, maybe.
Robin is pretty low on clock though. I can't make out how many control points he's got.
It's at
Two.
least 2 for
Robin has
Robin.
2.
It's round 5 and it's 1 for the Norwegian player.
Yes. Yeah, Christian. So 2-1 Christian, 5th round. There are a lot
Yeah,
of.
I just realized that I keep saying the Norwegian player and not saying their names.
Yes.
That's I'm not trying to do an active player situation like last year, so that was totally unintentional. I'll go apologize to the guys afterwards.
So he still has a book bricked up around his flag here. I'm not sure what is contesting it. There's still Thorn. Is this the Ironclad here?
Yeah,
Or is
that's
that
the
a
Ironclad.
Yeah.
There's
So
Thorn, there's
Thorn and the
Ironclad, there's the
Ironclad.
Charger.
And Chargers. So Haley still has her whole battle group intact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a few Stormblades standing up here.
Yeah. It actually looks like
He
Amon
actually
really only
attrition-
has. Yeah, he actually did attrition down Amon's Jack Wall.
Wow.
Amon has maybe 2 jacks left. 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 dead on the side. It appears
Did
to
he start
be.
with 12 or something?
That's what, 12. So that should leave him with 4 unless there's some even further down out of camera.
Yeah.
I definitely
I
don't know
don't
that
why
I
they should be
3,
there.
7,
Yeah. So I think we were looking at like 1,
possibly 2, 3. Just there.
That's the flag.
That's the flag, yeah.
I see 2. That's all I see as
Okay.
far as, and I don't think that Amon and 2 dervishes can take out an entire Haley battle group plus those. Apparently only 1 jack left, so something that we're looking at thinking is a jack is not.
Wow. So he killed the Vigilant, and he killed 11 dervishes?
Apparently.
Wow.
I am surprised. I mean, Stormblades put out a ton of damage, but just being able to kill enough and then not have them all die.
Yeah.
I wonder if the story of the match ends up being how good Temporal Flux is.
Which is called temporal distortion.
I mean, now Temporal
All right.
Distortion is that
Yeah.
did
I
it
think
change in the update?
It's
from
not
Temporal-
called.
It's not
it
Flux
didn't
anymore.
Call, it wasn't
Okay.
called. Isn't called flux anymore.
Okay. The Haley defensive bubble. Now that Choir no longer boosts a hit, it's only Synergy that's helping boost a hit. But to get,
Temporal
syner-
distortion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get Synergy going, you gotta hit
Yeah.
right, in the first place. I mean, you should still be able to hit defense. Okay, so it is 2 jacks. Exactly.
So
what
it's the
we
Vigilant
initially
in
thought.
front of the book,
Yeah,
and
Vigilance
probably
in front of the book.
Amon,
Yeah, I would imagine.
and then 1 dervish in the bottom zone.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
looks good.
Yeah,
And we have 1 Echo each contesting each zone, I think.
right, which
Yeah.
is pretty classic Haley
Yeah.
3. It's one of the reasons it's always hard
And Denise back up on the table.
to win on scenario versus them. We do have a time discrepancy, 7 minutes to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to probably come into play because I don't think the Amon player is able to put a lot of pressure anymore.
Yeah, and we can see by Robin's knee position that he's in control
he's
of this.
in control.
Yeah.
Of the game.
Yeah. And I see him going down to the wire on this one as well, which would, well, he's probably going to be really exhausted after this one.
I imagine after playing 6 rounds of high-level War Machine, everyone's going to be tired. But, yeah. All right, well, let's switch off of here. And, all right, we're going over to table 4. All right, so we can see that the score is 7-4, and the Norwegian player with 7 points has started his turn. He needs to score 2 this turn to win, and I'm not sure the flags are
Seems to be
being
contested by birds, I think.
So
Show the
this,
position that way.
this one,
And the Norwegian player's name is Sverre. By the way.
that's right. That's right. So that one
Did I say that
appears-
right?
Sverre.
That one
Apparently not.
appears to be contested by this Griffin, most likely, I would say.
It's Sveta if you not try to pronounce it correctly.
Whether this one's within 4 inches, I don't know.
It's like, as a rule of thumb, if you're asking if you pronounce a Nordic name correctly, the answer is no, usually.
Okay.
That's what I've been told every time I pronounce the Rickard correctly.
Yeah.
Well, because it's rock hard.
Yeah, Sveta not get it wrong on the stream.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah. No.
Oh, so the pureblood's still alive.
No.
I didn't even notice that in the mass of all those Banes. I don't think it's about to be alive
No.
anymore in the mass of all these Banes,
Gonna
but
see the
uh,
wolf go squish.
I think
yeah.
at this point it's maybe just staving off the inevitable for Bernhard.
I think so.
I think he's gonna try to clock Sverre.
Yeah, Svada
Yeah,
is
that's
on
a 3 minutes 40.
3 minutes 40 versus 12 minutes for Bernhard. But if I mean I don't without just flying Griffin each turn over to die into the top zone, he's not going to be able to deny him points over the course of turns.
No. But I mean, it's, yeah.
I don't know. This doesn't. Yeah,
I
3
think-
minutes. 3 minutes is not a lot, and he's
it
trying to
looks
win
like
on it right now. But it's
yeah.
also turn 5, and he only needs to play 2 more
Yeah.
turns.
It looks like he can, if he kills the pureblood, it's probably done.
That's what I can't tell is whether or
Okay.
not this Griffin is contesting that flag or this Griffin is contesting that flag.
He showed a position
Yeah,
for
It
contesting.
looks
He
like
should've.
they're both
I agree.
contesting. Yeah. So he's up to 8 points.
So Dara's gonna charge that Griffin.
Hits him.
Yep. Not a great damage roll.
And yeah, but he doesn't need that much. Oh, he does need that much.
Yeah, it looks like it's a fully stocked
It's
Griffin.
a fresh.
It doesn't
Griffin.
really look, as we've been flipping through this
So
game.
he's
So
eight-
he scores 1 from the top, goes to 8, flips the clock over. This is what I mean. Like, he's 1 point away from winning, so
Yeah.
he has to go up and contest. I guess he scores with Una
Yeah.
down the bottom, so he doesn't have to.
I mean,
But
He'll just remove this Bane or whatever it is,
yeah,
and score to
Yeah.
score
Yeah.
to 5.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I mean, he can
Sverre
probably
has
get rid of
to-
Daragraph as
has-
well.
Yeah.
but this is turn 6. I don't think Sverre has to do very much. I think he has to do approximately a minute and a half worth of work to maintain his control point lead and just
Yeah.
take it to the end of 7
Yeah.
and win on scenario.
But Bernhard possibly could kill Dara, kill the contesting model down here, and move something to the to both flags.
the only thing he has to score the flags is Una, and that's
Oh,
also the
never
only
mind.
thing he has to score the bottom zone.
Okay, I didn't say anything at all.
Yeah. So there is literally no way for Bernard to score more than 1 point a turn.
No, probably not. I'm thinking if he hasn't used his feet, he could probably just run birds into the upper zone and just make. I'm not sure. No, that doesn't seem good.
Yeah. And he has almost 11 minutes to think about it, but
Yeah.
I don't really see a very good way in a turn and a half for him to get out of this
No.
game. So I'm gonna call it in favor of Norway.
I'm gonna go with you on this one.
I don't see how. No, if Una is actually the only model left to score both flags and the zone, I don't see how Bernhard is pulling
Right,
this out
yeah.
unless he somehow manages to push Sverre into the clock.
Yeah.
Sure.
Other than that,
Yeah.
it's Sverre's game.
Yeah. I mean, players can always beat themselves, but I think
Yeah.
as long as Farah is just mindful of the clock, he'll be
Yeah.
fine. And I think that's kind of what he's pointing out to him right now. I think they're talking over what his options are. Yep, and there's the concession from
Yeah.
Bernard.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Bernard concedes,
1-1.
and we have a 1-1 match. So let's find ourselves another table. So apparently we found ourselves and there's the handshake. I'm going to assume. Yep, it looks like. Is that Egregor on the flag there? Yep. So it looks like Sausage just managed to out attrition in the Ghost Fleet mirror. Probably
so we're up
weight of
2-1.
experience.
This looks better and better.
And so Sasha wins on scenario.
Okay.
Scoring
So
3.
can we
going
look
to
into Ben and
72.
see how he's doing? Table 1?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's check in on table 1 and see how.
Okay, so how are we?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to 2 very quickly. Okay, so we're going for an assassination on Amon. I think this game
Assassination for the the championship.
For the championship.
For the
yeah.
championship, yeah. I was about to predict something else,
So-
but
Amon has been blinded, and Baby Haley is attacking.
yeah.
So we can see him marking just a couple damage boxes there.
Hang on.
So yeah. So Amon's still on. It looks like approximately 4 to 5 boxes. It's a little hard to tell from
Yeah.
the sheet.
He's still on a few boxes, but now
That's,
Grandma Haley is shooting at him, I believe.
So that's to hit, perhaps. Yeah. So here's the damage. Just a couple boxes. Leaves
And
him alive
still
on
not
1.
enough.
He's on
There we
1.
go.
There's another attack. She's got to hit him in melee, but blinded. So base defense. She's at 6, right? Maybe we're at 5.
I would expect 6 because Signar.
Ah, he missed.
Missed. Randomize. Damage roll, or no, roll to hit on the other target. I'm sure probably missed.
That's a That's a 12 he rolled. So he didn't kill. But now comes a charge from the.
Grat 5.
Yep. Yes,
Hits.
Rat 5, just like regular Harley.
That's a defensive
So-
strike. That's probably a storm blade.
No, yep, that's the game. And that's victory
Yes!
for Team Germany. WTC 2017 champions. Congratulations to Team Germany. We can flip over to table 1 and see if maybe they're choosing to play their game out. It's the last game on the stream. So Germany, often a bridesmaid in the last several years, always a
Holy
contender,
cow.
but never quite making it. Has finally won the WTC. And there is quite a bit of joy in here. Trying to see what the score of this game is.
It's still 2 points for
and I believe 4 points probably
For
still
Tor?
for
and still
maybe a 5th point. There is a model on Benjamin's flag here.
that's the remaining spear, I believe.
Well, I don't know why he would put the spear on the flag in the acid bath because it can't score, right?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what he's attacking here. Much hugging and backslapping going on. I don't know if that's coming across in the stream. Looks like a
And
concession.
Concession.
And I will find out exactly if it was just an issue of rolling dice and not quite finishing the game, or if there's a actual end to the game here. I'm not sure where Assyria is. It might have been an assassination attempt. We'll have somebody check on the results
Yeah, I'm sorry for if some of this is getting lost in the celebrations around us. But yeah, we finally won this event. It's really been a long time coming.
Well, 2017, definitely the Germans here. Victory in the first ever Guild Ball WTC and victory in WTC 2017 for War Machine. Congratulations to the Germans.
Yes, and in a few minutes, this is all games done.
All right, we're going to go do an intermission. I imagine we'll bring somebody over from the team to chat with them a little bit on their victory. So stick with us. We'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, bye-bye.